Hello everyone and welcome back to this system series of Star Trek Online. My name is Winters and you are most welcome. So for this episode we are going to focus on the Admiralty system. The Admiralty system is something that was introduced a year or two ago at the time of this recording. And to be perfectly honest, it's absolutely fantastic. It's a really great system. So first of all, to access the Admiralty system, you need to open up the Duty Officer window. From there, you click on the Admiralty tab. Now, if you are a new player to Star Trek Online, when you initially unlock the Admiralty system, it will not look like this. So first of all, the Admiralty system unlocks at level 52. You will only have, I want to say, one slot open. Man, it's been that long I can't even remember. Anyway, you have at least one slot open. It might be more, but I don't think so. And the system can be compared actually to the Duty Officer system. So how it works is basically all the ships that you collect, and you know, as you build up your fleet. So any ships that you get while you're leveling up, any ships that you purchase through the C-store, any ships that you open up from lockboxes, for example, or any ships that you get from any events. You get a carbon copy of that ship, and it is added to your ship roster here. Those ships then can be sent out on a wide variety of missions that are available in these campaigns here, and currently there are 4 campaigns. You have the United Federation of Planets campaign, the Klingon Empire campaign, the Romulan Republic campaign, and the Ferengi Alliance campaign. These will be expanded upon in the future as time passes by. They will add in additional campaigns. So all you have to do is select any one of the campaigns, and a list of available missions come up. And what you do is you click on Plan, and the system shows you the stats that are required in order to complete that mission. So for example here we have 85 engineering, 85 tech, and 85 science. So what I have to do is I have to now select a number, one or more of my starships or vessels that is in my ship roster. And as you can see here, each ship has its own stats. It has its own engineering, its own tech, and its own science stats. What you're trying to do is to either meet or exceed the requirements here by adding one or more ships into the mission. So we're going to start off here. We'll pick this science one, and then we'll pick, let's scroll down a bit here, we'll pick, let's see, what am I looking for? This dude. We'll pick this one, and we'll pick another. And I suppose I should point out, if you haven't figured it out already, and I'm sure you have, that there is a maximum of 3 ships that can be sent per assignment. This one looks okay. So now, the combined total of all 3 of those ships we can see here have clearly exceeded the minimum requirements needed in order to complete this mission. Up here at the top you have your success chance and you have your critical chance. So as you add vessels or assign vessels to the mission, the success bar gradually fills up. Whenever you exceed one of the requirements, so remember there's engineering, tech, and science, the overflow is added to the critical chance. So you know, the chance of you actually getting a critical success, which basically rewards you with additional rewards, whatever they may be. In this case, this mission gives faction-specific prisoners, campaign XP for the United Federation of Planets campaign, and a nice chunk of experience points. Down here we can see we have event rewards as well, and this time we're getting a package of very rare R&D materials, and that is provided that we get at least a success, and we are guaranteed a success on this mission, and we have a 12% chance of getting a critical success. Right, I want to talk about this part here now. Excuse me. Each mission can, as a possible outcome, well, not an outcome, but each mission can have one or more events attached to it. So for example, this mission has plus 40 engineering and science required, which means that there is additional 40 points added on to the engineering and science numbers that were here originally. So when we started this mission, or when we were looking at it in the available missions, it was 45, 85, 45, but the plus 40 engineering and science brought it up to 385s even. We also have a plus 20 critical rating, which is represented here, which, you know, goes up to your critical chance. And then we have very rare R&D materials, which is this event here. These events can either benefit or, I don't want to say, we'll say hinder, okay? So for example, they can decrease the total amount of points needed, or they can increase the total amount of points needed. In this case, it was increase the total amount of points needed, which, you know, ultimately makes it harder to fill the requirements for that particular mission. Right, so we'll begin that assignment. And if we go up here to in progress, we can see the assignment is there now. It is ticking down. In 2 hours 30 minutes it will complete, and we can see the base value stats without the events that we were talking about a minute ago. So as you complete Admiralty missions, depending on the campaign, each mission will give you a certain amount of campaign XP. Here we can see we get 630. So kind of like the commendation XP for the duty officer missions, this campaign XP levels up the various campaigns. So when you start off, each one of these campaigns will be set to level 0. There is a maximum of level 10, which is 200,000 XP. So yeah, as you complete missions, you eventually level up each of the different campaigns. The first mission that you do within a 20-hour period will also reward you with bonus XP. So let's imagine that all these are at level 0, okay? And this is the first mission that I'm running for the United Federation of Planets campaign. I will get the 630 XP, and then I will also get a bonus XP, which I think is something like 2,000. Do not hold me to that. The numbers are so small, like here, that I actually do not know what the daily bonus is, and to be perfectly honest with you, I never tracked it up here to work it out. I don't care. Who the hell cares? All you really need to know is that you get a nice chunk of free bonus XP the first time you do a mission in a particular campaign within a 20-hour period. So in short, once every 20 hours you get free bonus XP for each campaign. Because of this, how do we put this? The most efficient way of leveling up the various campaigns is to do one mission per day per campaign. There is a limit on the amount of XP that can be earned per day per campaign. So let's say 3,000 XP or 5,000 XP, whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure, but the point is that there is a limit. So you could run missions, let's say in the United Federation of Planets campaign, all day long, and you will only get, let's say, 3,000 United Federation of Planets campaign XP. You will get the other rewards, you know, so in this case, experience points and, what were they? They were prisoners, weren't they? You will get those rewards, but the campaign itself will not level up any further than the daily maximum that can be earned. So, like I said earlier, the most efficient way of leveling, at least in my opinion, of leveling up each of the different campaigns is to do one mission per day per campaign. Okay? That is the most efficient way. Right, the next thing I want to talk about is the actual ships. So how do you get your ships here onto your roster? Remember now that this system opens up at level 52. And basically what happens is, you know this guy here, who is your ship manager. You interact with him and you can see a list of all of your available starships that you have in your ship roster. In this case, I have 3 vessels. I have the Ferengi Decora, I have the Ferengi Nandi, and I have the Captain's Yacht. Once I hit level 52, I will receive a carbon copy of each one of these ships. If it doesn't do it itself automatically, all you have to do is open up the duty officer window, and the system will kind of get a little bit of a nudge and then create the carbon copy of each one of the ships that is in this roster. Once the ship is in this roster, you can freely dismiss the ships here from this roster, and you don't have to worry about this one at all. So once a ship is in this roster, you can never lose it. It can never be lost. It doesn't matter at all what you do with your ships here. You can put them into dry dock, like you can see here I have a number of ships in dry dock, and you can leave some in your roster here, or you can actually dismiss them completely if you want to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually show you what happens when you add a ship onto your roster here. So there's 1 or 2 ways this is going to happen. This is the ship here, okay? I'm going to double click on the box here, and the ship will appear here in this roster. Down here we will see 2 copies of the ship. At least the text of the ship will appear here, basically indicating that 1 copy went here, which is the actual ship that you fly, and then the card, imagine each one of these ships as a card, a playing card, okay? And each one of those cards has values on it corresponding to each of the different vessels. If the second one does pop up here, then this number will change to 112. If it doesn't pop up here, once we open the duty officer window, it will then get its little bit of a nudge to tell it to wake the frick up, and it will create the card copy of the ship. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this ship. There we go, alright? Only 1, and there's the ship now added to this roster. So I'm actually kind of happy it worked out this way, so that you guys can see it. So as soon as I open up the duty officer window now, we'll see it appear here, and the number will be 112. See? And it just changed to 112. So that ship has now been added to my roster, and it is somewhere... Is this it? Crap. I think that is it. I know it was a Vorgon ship. I freaking hate the Vorgon ships so much. Not a fan of them. Oh no, this is it here. The Dreadnought. Yeah, that's the ship. Right, so now there's the ship in my Admiralty roster. I am now going to click on discharge. I am going to discharge the actual ship itself. There it is gone, but look, it's still here in this roster. So no matter what you do with your ships here, once the copy has been added to your Admiralty roster, it doesn't matter what you do with your ships here. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is if it's a lockbox ship, you know, a ship that you got from a lockbox or a prize pack or something like that, if you dismiss it, tough shit. The ship is gone forever, unless you purchase another one or win another one, okay? Keep that in mind. If you got the ship while leveling up, again, once it's gone, and the only way you can get it back is actually by buying it again from the vendor, which is this vendor here, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with this vendor. While you were leveling up, this is where you got all your starships as you leveled up every 10 levels. And you can see you have to pay dilithium for them now if you want to get any of those ships back. I suppose while we're talking about this now, this isn't a bad way to actually build up your ship roster in the Admiralty system. You can purchase a nice number of ships from this vendor for dilithium, and you will have a nice little fleet, because ultimately the more ships you have, the more missions you can run, the more XP that you get, and so on and so forth. And like I said, the Admiralty system is absolutely fantastic. It's just like the duty officer system in that once you have a mission started, it continues to work for you whether or not you are in the game. So if you're pressed for time and you've only got 15 minutes to get online, you can set up whatever amount of missions slots you have available. You can set up missions for each one of those slots, log out the game, and we'll say the next day you come back, you will be able to claim all of those missions, and you will have got a nice chunk of rewards, whatever they may be, usually skill points. Or experience points, not skill points, sorry, experience points. Right, so that ships, that's leveling up the various campaigns. The next thing I want to talk about is each of the various campaigns specialize in something. So in terms of the United Federation of Planets campaign, it would be fair to say that it focuses primarily on experience points. Okay? The Klingon Empire campaign focuses on dilithium. The Romulan Republic focuses on tech upgrades, and the Ferengi Alliance also focuses on dilithium. Each one of the campaigns has a special type of mission that is known as a tour of duty, and if we click on the Klingon Empire, we can actually see we have one here. Klingon Empire Tour of Duty 6 of 10. And if we look up here, it says Tour of Duty 5 of 10 to reward, meaning that we have 5 of the tours of duty complete out of a possible of 10, and sure enough, here's our 6th one. Okay? The missions last for 20 hours. There is a nice XP payout for each of them, both for campaign XP and just ordinary experience points. They start off with, we'll say the first mission, 1 of 10. The requirements for it will be 10 engineering, 10 tactical, and 10 science. When you get to the second mission, or 2 of 10, it'll be 20, 20, 20. The third mission, or 3 of 10, will be 30, 30, 30, and it keeps on going all that way, all the way up to 10 of 10, which is 100, 100, 100. And that's how the tours of duty, the requirements work for them. Say for any events that you may get. And if we look at this one, we might see if there's any events with it. There isn't. There's no events with this one. You can see it's just 60, 60, 60. Pretty straightforward. But, there might be an event that might bring this one down to 30. Or, could push these up to 75 or, whatever. When you get to the 10th tour of duty, this is where you get the big payout. If we look here, complete all 10 steps to receive 30,000 dilithium ore. So when you do the 10th tour of duty, you get 30,000 dilithium ore for completing that particular mission. So the 9 missions before that are like, you know, gradually building up to it, and when you do the 10th one, you then get the big payout. Once you have completed the 10th tour of duty, this resets, goes all the way back to 0, and then you start off with 1 of 10, then you do 2 of 10, 3 of 10, and you just basically repeat the cycle all over again. So you can continuously earn 30,000 dilithium ore here, essentially every 10 days, just for doing Admiralty missions. Of course, that is assuming that you have enough ships in order to do enough missions per day to keep this going. Like I said, the Ferengi Alliance is also focusing on dilithium, and that is another one that can reward you with 30,000 dilithium ore. The Romulan Republic, this one will reward you with 4 Romulan Republic Universal Tech Upgrades. That's not bad at all. Those tech upgrades, they're fairly good. They're not the best in game, but they're definitely not the worst. They're actually pretty good. So if you've got some upgrading to do, this might be a campaign that you might want to focus on. Really, you know, if it were possible, you might want to focus on all 4 campaigns that are in the game, because the payouts are so good. Your ultimate daily goal would be to get a tour of duty in each campaign every day. That would be your goal. Moving on to the United Federation of Planets campaign. The payout for doing all 10 steps of the tours of duty is 2 specialization points. You must be level 60 to open them. So once you do the 10th tour of duty, you get 2 free specialization points. That does not include all of the XP that you got that you most likely use to fill up this bar, and when it overflows you get another specialization point, and you just keep on repeating the process over and over again, because as I said, each tour of duty excuse me, is pretty much the same in that it gives a rather large experience points payout. So yeah, you get 2 specialization points from the United Federation of Planets one, and as I'm sure I've mentioned in one of the previous videos that we focused on for specialization points, currently in the game there are a grand total of 195 specialization point requirements, or you need 195 to fill out all of the specialization trees. Now, the missions themselves, if you get a critical success on any of the missions, you can get some bonus rewards, which might be in the form of some extra dilithium, some extra campaign XP, and some extra experience points. On top of that, you can also get what is known as a pass token. If we look down here in the bottom left hand corner, we can see that I have 50 of them. 50 is the cap. You cannot have more than 50 pass tokens in the Admiralty system. And what a pass token is, I suppose the easiest way to describe it is by showing, let's say for example this mission here, okay? I don't like that mission, or I cannot fill the requirements for it, so I want an easier mission to come up. All you have to do is click here on pass and it will dismiss the mission. The next one that is available, which is this one here, will come up in its place, and this one then moves over here and a new mission is generated here. So once this will disappear, this one will move up here, this one will move over, and a new one will appear here. So we hit pass, and there we go. There's our tour of duty. There's the evacuate refugees, and a new mission has been generated here. and we can see one of our pass tokens has been used. And you can do that with any of the campaigns. If there is a particular mission that you do not like, so let's say we'll pass on this one. Alright, watch this now. Escort colonial convoy through Ferengi Trade Alliance space. Pass. Escort colonial blah 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 blah. That mission is moved there and a new one has appeared here. We do it again. Look, escort colonial convoy blah 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 blah. That mission is now popped up here. And we're down to 47 pass tokens now. Right. That's pass tokens and the order of missions and how that sort of works. The next thing I want to talk about is the ships themselves. Actually, here we'll go to roster. So we can see that each vessel has its own stats. In the case of this Class F shuttle, it's 2 engineering, 2 tech, and 2 science. If you notice on each one of them here, they have an icon of a spanner and then 5M on all of these. If we scroll down, we can see, look, 30, and I'm sure you've guessed already, these are times. So this is 5 minutes, these ones are 30 minutes, these ones are 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, and finally, when we get to it, almost there, 18 hours. What these numbers represent is if this vessel, this Class F shuttle, is sent on a mission, the second that mission is finished, this vessel will go on a 5-minute cooldown, meaning that it cannot be used for 5 minutes. Okay? If we go down here to one of the top tier, currently tier 6 ships, and we look at this one, this tactical star cruiser, it has an 18-hour cooldown. So that means that if that ship is sent on a mission, the second that mission is finished, this ship goes on an 18-hour cooldown before it can be used again. Okay? So that basically the lower tier vessels have shorter cooldown periods and higher tier vessels have ever increasing cooldown periods. So for example, tier 5 is 12 hours, tier 6 is 18 hours, and so on and so forth. Another thing you may have noticed is that you have this here, in this case, minus 25% maintenance per any ship, not small craft. In the case of this one, plus 10 all stats per any ship, not small craft. Every single vessel in your roster has a little bonus something. So in the case of this exploration cruiser, plus 8 engineering per psi ship or tac ship. So what that means is we get plus 8 bonus or free engineering points for every science or tactical ship that we assign to the mission. So let's look at one here. We'll pick this one. Okay, we'll scroll down. I'm actually going to look for that same one again. There it is there, right? So, plus 8 per psi or tac ship. And we assign the ship. We can see the stats here marry up. 36, 12, 12, 36, 12, 12. Okay? Let's make this easy. Alright, this is a tactical ship because it's shaded in red. This is a science ship because it's shaded in blue, and this is an engineering ship because it's shaded in yellow. And this said plus 8 engineering per psi or tac ship, so we'll add this one in here now. So these numbers should go to 17, 20, and you would think 41, but it won't. It'll actually go to 49. See? 17, 20, and 49. Because we used a tac ship, and it's adding that 8 extra bonus points onto this here for us, making it easier to complete the mission. And I'm just going to pick up the last one now. I'll just find something to fill it out right, make it a little bit easier. Actually, will this one do it? Ah, crap. Okay. Here. This will do it. Boom. There we go. So now we can see we have met or exceeded the requirements for this particular mission, and the overflow has gone into the critical rating, or the critical chance, and we just start that mission. In terms of this ship, plus 10 all stats per any ship not small craft. Basically, for every ship, as long as it is not a small craft, so these are all small craft, alright? Basically shuttles or fighters. They're all considered small craft. Tier 1 ship, this is a tier 1 ship. Anything below this is not a small craft. Anything above this is a small craft. Basically, small craft have a 5-minute cooldown. That's how an easy way of keeping track of it. So we'll pick another mission. We'll pick this one. And we'll pick plus 10 all stats, blah 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 blah. And we'll pick some easy ships again. So we'll pick this one this time. So you would expect it to go 6, 6, and 9, but it won't. It'll go 16, 16, and 19. Okay? 16, 16, 19. And if we add another ship, and this time you would expect it to go to 22, 22, 25, but it won't. It'll go 32, 32, 35, if I'm adding that up right. 32, 32, 35, okay? So I'm getting an extra 10 for all stats for each ship, additional ship that I add along with this one. In this case, it is not enough to... well, I could run the mission if I wanted to, but I've only got a 46% chance that I'm actually going to succeed. So that's pretty crap. And as you can see, I've got a nice chunk of ships available to me, so I'm going to pick some better ones just to finish out this mission. Right, and then we want a tactical one. Tactical, we'll go with this bad boy. There we go. Right, and we begin the mission. Trying to think, is there anything else? We've talked about leveling up the campaigns. We've talked about the missions themselves and how they cycle through. We've talked about the specialty for each of the campaigns. We've talked about the maximum amount of XP that can be earned per day and the max for each campaign. We've talked about the ships. We've talked about the stats of the ships. I think that's it, actually. One thing I do want to point out: any vessels that you have purchased through the C-Store, when you claim them, you will need to bring them into this roster here in order to get them into this roster here. And remember what we done a little while ago. We had this window closed and we brought a ship in and it didn't add it to the roster here, and all we had to do was open the window and ta-da, it appeared in the roster here. So C-Store ships that you bring into the roster here, you can freely dismiss once you've got them added to the Admiralty system. If they're lockbox ships or ships that you got while leveling up, it's up to you if you want to dismiss them, but basically the point I'm trying to make is if you do, then you're SOL, because those ships are gone and you're going to have to purchase them again by whatever means is available to you. And in some cases that can be hundreds of millions of EC depending on the ship. Right. I'm just trying to think if there is anything else. I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's a fairly comprehensive introduction into the Admiralty system. So we will leave it there for now. Thanks a million for watching this video, folks. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And as always, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. My name is Winters, and I'll see you around next time. So until then, take care.